MyCallCloud, we keep your calls clear. Support so smooth, your clients cheer. Smart tech powering your team all day. MyCallCloud, the cloud call away.
Welcome to the MyCallCloud Podcast. I'm Noah Cease. We have Raymond Stover and Mike Hess, not Michael Hess, Mike Hess with Blind IT.
Welcome, Mike.
Welcome, Mike.
Noah, Raymond, so thrilled to be here today. Thanks for having me. This is legit a cool setup.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much. So we were chatting just before the pod, and we have known of each other for 10 plus years now.
Yeah.
10. A decade, Mike.
It's been and it started with there was a front page article in the Denver Post back in June of 2015 that we as a small nonprofit, we were super thrilled to get that kind of coverage. Mm-hmm. And our good friend Raymond here, like he saw the article and said, "Hey, I'm intrigued. I'm interested," and then took it to the next step. Great. Yeah. So it's one thing. I mean, there's so much media out there, and that's cool. But it's the follow up. Yeah. And Raymond, MyCallCloud, actually did that follow up and said, "Hey, I'm on the west side of town." I'm like, "I'm on the west side of town." So we met at a Starbucks.
Yeah, I remember this.
Over by Sloan's Lake.
Yeah, over by Sloan's Lake, there in Edgewater, and just started talking shop, and found out that Raymond and I actually have a lot in common. We're both former CCNAs, on the Cisco side of the house too. So, and we just hit it off from there.
Yeah, no, I remember that meeting. I was, I think I popped into that Sloan's Lake meeting just for a little bit. I don't know if I had the complete amount of time for that meeting that morning, but I still remember driving my red Jetta.
Yeah, the manual Jetta.
The manual Jetta, exactly.
Yeah, and that was a great start to a great relationship here.
Yeah, I remember Raymond talking to me about this article. He goes, "I think I'm going to reach out to this guy, and I'm going to see if there's some synergy here, right? See if there's something we can work together with Mike Hess on." And obviously, that's that's panned out. Yeah. It's panned out. So.
But what's interesting about this, and where I think your audience and really the broader world needs to know about this, so there are a lot of organizations that reach out and they're like, "Oh, this is a great idea, right. Kudos," and then I get that kind of condescending tap on the head, like, "That's cute, right?"
Shit, yeah.
But on the where MyCallCloud said, "No, that we can actually help your mission. Mm-hmm. Our mission is always to empower." The blind, low vision, and the broader disability community find gainful employment opportunities. Like That's our mission. That's what we do.
Right. And
MyCallCloud was there from literally the beginning, saying, we have this platform that employs people, and we think that we can, with your help, make adjustments to our software so your team can work on our platform.
Yeah.
So you went from like, okay, I'm curious, to, okay, what would this look like practically, to then doing it? And no, I would love because I'm telling you, dude, not many companies are willing to go to that level.
Yeah.
And I would love to know from you, other than the cool factor, from a technologist perspective, why did you do that?
Okay. So first of all, and Raymond knows this about me, I'm a lot about trial and error. Let's try. If there's something we can try, and it seems like the path is going to be relatively easy, let's just keep going down that path, okay? So when I cracked open the code and I was like, all right, what am I going to do here? Am I going to play audio prompts here? How am I going to get a blind or visually impaired person, blind visually impaired, mm-hmm. to walk through what they need to do in order to make a phone call, to take script notes, whatever the functioning task is that call center rep needs to do? How do we walk through that? So I just start with the login process. All right, let's figure out how we can log in. I'm going to try and do it when I'm got my eyes closed. Okay? So I close my eyes. I've already built a little bit of code to just play where the prompts are. I'm like, okay, I'm on the login screen. Got it. So then I can tab through. Now I don't have a screen reader, so I know that I hit tab, and then the screen reader is going to tell me you're in this box, you're in this box, you're in this box. And then your username and password. Put your username and password. Okay, great. And I was like, this is possible. I think we're going to be able to do this.
Yeah, from your initial test, right? You didn't, sort of that minimum viable.
And listen, that was like 7 or 8 minutes of my life. Okay.
Wait. No, because
that was deep focus.
Let's really talk about that for a second, because again, so many technology organizations are like, oh, there's so much cost to this, and you're telling me that you were able to determine that this was able to be done in 7 to 8 minutes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And listen, and I'm not a great coder, but I can code.
Yeah.
Right. I would consider myself more advanced than I was 10 years ago.
Right.
Okay. But the fact that I knew that I could just play a WAV file inside of a web page, and I could call that WAV file dynamically, using whatever the URL calls are, and just play. I was like, oh, okay, we can use audio prompts for this, for the stuff that screen reader can't pick up.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, 7 or 8 minutes we
7 or 8 minutes, and then the bigger story to this again, is then you said we're willing to do this, so you committed actual more resources, your time.
I think
resources,
it was about a half a day.
About a half day, so 4 hours.
Yeah,
and then at that point we were able to then get numerous blind low vision individuals placed with MyCallCloud.
That's right.
They worked like almost a decade here at MyCallCloud, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
conducting satisfaction surveys and asking open-ended questions and collecting responses, via text and typing it in.
And that model has changed for us a little bit, right?
Sure.
That owner's making changes to his business model, but
yeah.
So they were jamming and rocking and rolling for a decade running on our software. That I don't know if anybody else has modified our particular software package to accommodate, blind and visually impaired folks.
But it's up there on you shared it.
I put it up there into the world, right? It's an
Yep.
open source tool, so I uploaded the content up back to the project and let people know that, these are the steps. I did some light documentation, right? Play the file here, play the file here, play the file here, right? Boom, 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 and then people can follow those instructions pretty easily. In fact, just before you came on board with us, just before we met each other, I built a voice over IP or WebRTC audio phone, a web phone, right? That made this kind of, it was more possible because then people didn't have to launch 2 pieces of software.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, there was that piece, and I learned the thing that I needed to learn from doing the code on that to make it BVI compliant.
And I think what's great, and I think what people need to hear is because we literally coach organizations, large and small, all the time.
Yeah.
Like being making things accessible, digitally accessible or digitally equitable.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, it's intentional.
Right.
Right. But that sounds like a guy who's selling something.
Right.
Like you as a business owner, somebody who can sling code.
Yeah.
Like, is that statement accurate? Not difficult, intentional.
It was a need I saw that was requiring my attention.
Right.
So intentional.
And it took you all of 4 hours.
That's right.
So again, it's not like it wasn't, it's not like you just didn't have to think about it.
Right.
But something that takes 4 hours, right? Like we can agree, we're not talking rocket surgery.
That's viable everywhere.
Yeah. So it is viable everywhere. So I love that. And I love sharing that story. Because a few years later, I'm thinking 2017, 2018, we collaborated on a digital equity conference here in the Denver metro area.
We gave a speech on it.
Yeah, and you guys got up on stage and you were like saying, "Hey, here's the code."
Oh yeah, I went into it. Yeah,
you actually and said, and it's out there on GitHub.
Yeah,
it's for the world to see. Like, so not only were you willing to make this happen again, for the sole intention to get blind, low vision individuals working. Right. You then said, here's the code out there, world, have at it. Because the more people we can get employed, it's better for all of us.
Yeah. Listen, it was one of those, first of all, it was an intentional thing, but it was driven by need, right? Most of the time we solve problems if there's a need.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So when there's that need, it's easy to attack the problem, right? Because you can see it so clearly. You're like, oh, I know the problem here.
Right.
The screen reader can't pick up these cues.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all based on how things are designed, right? How things are being rendered and it's code. It comes down to code and most code or most accessibility fixes are 80-90% of them are small code fixes.
Right.
Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it. No, and that's how the party got started with our relationship.
Yeah, I know.
A decade ago, placing amazing individuals out there, getting them working. So I love that, and it was so fun and just reconnecting.
Yeah.
And we've become friends. And MyCallCloud has supported BIT from a Gallup perspective for literally a decade now. And
fill us in. What has this decade been like? This is a decade in review with Mike Hess. Here we go.
Shoot.
Here we go. Strap in, everybody.
So here's what's fun. I mean, so. We started out literally as a startup nonprofit. So back in 2013, and there are no grant dollars available to startup nonprofits. I did not have a rich uncle. So we were all about, kind of a scrappy startup.
Right.
So how do we bring revenue in the doors? And it was literally about placing blind, low vision people. And we acted as a staffing agency.
Yeah. You were a VAR partner for your niche market.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And we found great partners like yourself. And then in 2017, because again, that tech background, that Raymond, I was Cisco certified, former, mainframe COBOL programmer.
Yeah.
And so huge fan of the concept of cert stacking. Mm-hmm. Right. And so BIT, we became the very first in 2017 organization that put 6 blind, low vision individuals and 1 neurodiverse individual through the Salesforce Administrator certification.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did that because, we wanted to how do you grow talent that is in demand out there in the ecosystem, right? And we chose Salesforce for 2 primary reasons. One is even 10 years ago, they were a household name. Now with almost a $300 billion valuation, they're doing just fine globally.
Oh my God.
Everything Agent Force and, so cool. But what we found too is out of the box, Salesforce, they did those small fixes to their entire ecosystem, like you were doing at MyCallCloud, to make sure that their platform was accessible to the blind, low vision community.
That's perfect.
And so since 2017, we continued our pilot program, and out of that pilot program, 7 individuals, 6 out of those 7 we found jobs for.
That's awesome.
Right? Because everything that we do, all the relationships, MyCallCloud, Salesforce, everything that we do is all about employment.
Right.
Period. And we consider the people with disabilities community broadly the greatest untapped human potential on the planet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think of all the focus from a talent acquisition perspective, all of them super important, but who's always omitted? People with disabilities.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's the niche that we fill. So from 2017, we'll fast forward to 2020. We continued training folks up, leveling them up, getting them placed out there in the ecosystem. In 2020, we became the official training provider for Salesforce globally for people with disabilities.
That's awesome.
And out of the Salesforce ecosystem, huge ecosystem, we're the only organization with that designation.
Good for you.
We're it.
That's cool.
So super cool. In 2021, our training program being so effective, we became a national registered apprenticeship program with the U.S. Department of Labor in D.C. And so our training meets those standards.
That's awesome.
Right. So super cool. Fast forward to 2023. So Salesforce has one of the largest tech conferences, literally one of the largest AI conferences in the world now.
Okay.
And they take over downtown San Francisco, the Moscone area. They close down streets. It's an amazing experience. It really is. But so Mark Benioff and Parker Harris, the 2 co-founders, they always do a keynote at the beginning of their conference. Okay. And there's 10, 15,000 people in the room, and it's being live streamed. And they always give an award to an individual or organization that's making an impact within the Salesforce ecosystem globally. And this golden hoodie is actually the representation of that award that we received in 2023. So that's the golden hoodie.
Okay.
And so that was September of 2023. Fast forward to 2024, our model going from academy to apprenticeship has been so modestly successful that we received an $8 million federal grant in September of 2024. Thank you. Yeah. So huge deal. And all to scale our apprenticeship model.
That's awesome.
Right. And so literally, when I think of MyCallCloud and the trajectory and the history of BIT, they're intertangled, in the story of your willingness to make your platform accessible to our mission and our community, and then the relationship with obviously a juggernaut like Salesforce, they dovetail.
That's awesome.
It's peas and carrots. It's an amazing story, and all it is an organization that's willing to say I can do that 4 hours worth of work.
Yeah, a little bit of planning, right? Especially for the Salesforce crew.
Well,
sure.
when the ecosystem gets that big, I mean, the planning is.
They got to plan a little bit. Yeah.
But ultimately, what you're saying, like, if it's 4 hours worth of work.
Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet, how many tech platforms out there aren't willing to do that 4 hours worth of work?
I know. Oh, it doesn't fit the model.
Yeah.
There's no people.
Exactly. Yeah, so,
Okay.
Yeah. Even though, like, statistically, the financials on people with disabilities from a disposable income perspective, I mean, they're saying, like, globally, it's in the trillions.
Yeah.
So it's not the buyer market, right?
Yeah.
And then from the workforce, when most tech companies, tech ecosystems are like, all they're doing is trying to outbid the other tech companies for talent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Salesforce is like, no. Like, we're going to make an investment here, and we're going to tap into this amazing talent pool that's not being tapped into whatsoever.
Right.
So I love their business plan better because obviously it fits with what we're doing. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, that was a good decade in review.
love it. No, appreciate
And
it.
then, you know what? Every year you have this gala as well, and we've been to several.
We don't do it
Not
quite-
every year.
We're about every, and because of the work that goes into it, Noah, right?
I know.
So and we're busy. So it's about not quite every 2 years is our cadence. So
Okay.
so it's like so this year in 2025 it was February of 2025.
Yeah.
We won't have another one until October of 2026.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So not quite 2 years.
About a
but
year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half, and it gives enough space in between.
Yeah.
Because there's a concept in nonprofits called donor fatigue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we've never we've always used the gala to it's an influx of cash for us to continue to meet our mission.
Right.
But we don't use it we've never relied on donations or grants alone to survive.
It's just a method of other revenue.
That's all it is. Yeah. So from a business
Other income.
perspective, it's a revenue stream.
Yeah.
But it's not our sole. Like, we have a very diversified revenue.
But it's a super
portfolio.
fun. It's a super fun event.
We
dining in the dark. All the other. Things
we
that
have
you
some
guys
fun
do.
with it. We do, and we always we always have good music. This year we had the CEO of a Fortune 100 company.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like, how many nonprofits are bringing in that kind of cachet?
That's cool.
So it's because everything that we do is within the business community. So we're attracting business leaders globally.
That's awesome. Man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fun event. We've been a couple times.
several times.
The wife has been with almost the whole crew has been there. So it's one of those events where you're like, oh man, if we can make it, we're gonna make it. If we're in town or whatever.
Well, the
You
times of the
always
year,
want to.
people. So in the February timeframe, I think Raymond, you're like, I might be skiing that weekend, right? And that's
Priorities, man.
That's legit, man. No, that's totally legit. So you gotta honor that. So, but we throw it out there, and for folks that can make it, it's a fun event. We always have, we have a photo booth where you get to put different hats, and we just try to make it fun, right? So yes, we want you to come and spend a few of your shekels there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, just come and have fun, right? And there's a lot of times.
I still have the blindfolds, by the way.
Do you really?
Oh, I never get rid of them. Never.
It's so fun. Noah, I was in an airport. Oh my! It was like San Jose. It was just whatever. I was on business travel.
Yeah.
And I had somebody come up to me and they're like, "Hey, are you that blinders guy?" And I'm like, "Oh my!" I was like, and he goes, He goes, "I still have my blindfold," and I'm like, and that's I love that. So again, that the blindfold component is our way of trying to encourage empathy. Right. And that's all it is. So
experiential.
Just like what you did with the software, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes.
See how this goes.
Yeah. And just see what happens, right? Just that little bit of empathy.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, right?
That's
and
it.
and it took you 7 or 8 minutes. And I love for your audience to hear that, because
I know.
we're not talking about I had to work on this for 6, because if you had had to work on this for 6 months, we might not be having this podcast 10 years later.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest with that.
That
right?
might have gone to the back burner. It might not have been a priority. It might not have. There's all these things.
Yeah. So, and that's what individuals need to hear is this is not a 6 month. Now you have to have an ecosystem in place like Salesforce does for they have 3 major releases a year, right?
Yeah.
So they have an entire SDLC, PDLC that they're they have to integrate those 4-hour chunks throughout all of that.
Right.
So that's a larger ecosystem
It is. Yeah.
that they're prioritizing. But for an organization just to get started, to say like, hey, try a little empathy for 7 or 8 minutes, and then it's probably a 4-hour fix.
Yeah.
That's a nothing.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's nothing.
Easy. Yeah,
So-
and I would encourage everybody. It just there's no road, especially if it's web based, because that's the easiest, which everything is now.
Yeah.
You know.
Make a
Don't-
copy. And
Don't make a roadblock out of it. Just try.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot. Use the JavaScript component to play audio file, just to prompt, BVI folks where they are in the software, and then the screen reader usually picks up the rest of the requirements of where they need to navigate. But other than that, just prompting people, getting them to the right spot, naming fields the correct thing, naming them so they can be picked up by a screen reader. All that.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I love it.
there's one thing, Mike, I think that's very important that I did not hear you say, and that was after we developed it, and he's like, okay, we think we're good. Let's start testing it out. Your team was instrumental in helping with the testing, right?
Yeah,
the
sure.
NVDA, the JAWS, the screen reader, the integration for the end user, and helping establish a training program for the BVI individuals, right? Your team there at Blind Institute of Technology, you were really instrumental in then helping us take it to the next step, to take it into production and put these agents to work, and then screening the agents.
it was a true
providing us high-
partnership.
and
absolutely.
and I'm such a fan of win-win relationships.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this is one of those rare times in life where if we can make it happen, it's a win-win-win-win.
Oh,
Because
exactly.
the people they're so talented, they've been told no so many times.
Right.
They finally get a yes for employment. The employer gets a staff member who cares, who's diligent, who's reliable,
Yeah.
and the whole staff turnover. Gosh, we had agents with us for years.
Yeah.
And when do they leave is typically either a marriage event or a better employment
Better
opportunity.
opportunity.
Hmm.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Raymond, because quite honestly, that same relationship building, right? Saying, because as soon as we found, MyCallCloud, interested leadership to work on this with us, of course we're going to be there. And that's exactly so when we found blockers within the Salesforce ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because we did, right?
Yeah,
It's a
sure.
huge ecosystem.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Like we didn't come after with you guys are doing no. We went there and said, hey, if you do that, and what we found with them, very similar to MyCallCloud,
Yeah.
is this. They were like, oh, tell us more.
Yeah.
Teach us more, right? And we were absolutely right there. And we weren't there with saying, hey, we could help you for the low price of $4 billion. We weren't doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, our end goal is employment.
Right.
And so we're there to help them along their accessibility journey.
Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly what I mean. So that relationship, again, whether it's an organization the size of MyCallCloud, which is, you guys are hovering about $1 billion. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then
Thanks,
you're
Mike.
so close.
Thanks,
and then
Mike.
Salesforce, about $300 billion, right? So you guys are close.
You're close.
They're in the ballpark.
Not much of a gap there at all. Yeah.
So to be able to, it doesn't matter the size of the entity for us. When we find an interested organization that is committed to employing this community, right? The blind, low vision, the disability community, we're all in to help that organization out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it blind, low vision, or is it blind, visually impaired? Where are we at? It's
So,
so, both, either way.
So either one is so for, and this is, man, there's so much nuance
Yeah.
to this Noah. So in the deaf community,
Yeah.
it's deaf, hard of hearing.
Okay.
In the blind community,
Yeah.
it's okay in some circles to say blind, visually impaired.
Okay.
It's the whole there's nothing impaired about me. That's where that right.
Mhm.
I don't have an impairment. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an impairment. So the blind, low vision. So
Oh,
BVI or blind, low vision. So
Gotcha.
for me personally, this is, and I know this is going to go out there to the world, and I'm
Yeah.
probably going to get hate mail about this.
So you're not going to get no hate on this.
So,
You're
but
going to
you
get
know,
love.
for me, I call myself a blind dude, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, but when I'm talking about the broader community, right? I'm always people first language. That's how I operate, you know.
Yeah.
So, so blind, low vision, blind, visually impaired. you're not going to get your hand slapped by too many organizations by saying something like that.
Okay. All right.
So
that's fair.
And that's part of the, unfortunately, that in this, and the whole disability community is at fault at this. They've made it, quite honestly, so challenging for the rest of the world to communicate with us that we're like, well, I don't want to say anything that's going to piss anybody off,
ruffle
right?
anybody's feathers.
Yeah, right.
So we'll avoid it altogether.
Yeah, we'll avoid it altogether, right? Versus like, okay, like, hey, in language is important. It really is important.
Yeah.
But let's not make that the stopper of progress, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you get an organization and you don't want to work with it, like only thing you're focused on is them to change their language.
Yeah.
You know what they're going to do? See ya.
See ya.
Right? They're just going to say see ya, right? Like versus, finding an organization like, well, let's get through the language thing at some point in time. But more importantly, let's talk about like, how that organization can help the unemployment epidemic for this community. Because that's exactly what it is. It's an epidemic that's not talked about.
It blew my mind time and time again when you would present us with candidates for employment. I would simply make an assessment. Do they have the right attitude? Are they well spoken?
Right.
I've already looked at their resume. I already know they have the basic technical acumen. And so oftentimes, as it being an entry-level job, I'd say yes. And so many times, time and time again, they were blown away that they just got a yes over the phone, over a one phone call interview.
Yeah.
Because they had been told no so
many
many times prior.
Yeah, and that's I get MyCallCloud, the culture that you all have here, but it starts with like you realize like so the only impediment to this community was software. That was it, right?
That's it.
And then it was like because your attitude was already at the point where you're saying like, hey, they've got talent, they've got skills, they've got all that kind of stuff. So then it was the only obstacle was the software.
That's it.
Bam, right? So,
Yep.
And that's that. But our community, it's that attitudinal shift has not happened from a tipping point perspective.
Not yet.
So, and that's, I mean, we're still working on this.
Still grinding on it.
Yeah, being on one of the baddest ass podcasts in the world. Maybe this shit. Maybe
Right
this is
here.
what's getting us to that tipping point, Noah. So let's do it. So.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that golden hoodie and
It's people ask all the time because they see so many of these photos on social and stuff like that, and I'm like, I promise I don't wear this to bed. I really don't.
You don't.
Yeah, here you are in Denver, your own city. You're wearing it.
Well, it is cold out right now. Like, come on, team, you know it's cold out there. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, we're not the biggest podcast in the world, but we do. We get about 20,000 views a month, so. We're going to get some shorts out there for you, and we're going to make sure that people know who you are.
Get the word
love
out.
So you get some exposure.
Man, I love the partnership, the collaboration always. And I think I've been on, dozens of podcasts now, right? So this studio.
Yeah, you're polished. We can tell. We can tell
polished,
for sure.
yeah.
He's
We
got.
might not be, but
he's got good commentary. He's got great questions. I'm just sitting here nodding my head. Like,
just run with it.
sounds good, Mike. Just keep going, bud.
Well,
No doubt.
Been there, done that a few times now, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but this setup that you all have here is badass.
It's legit.
This is so cool. This is by far the best studio I've ever been in.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm not
Nice.
kidding you.
We
And
get kudos for the best
I've
studio.
been on some pretty, I've been invited to a lot of really cool ones, but
Yeah.
this is legit the best studio I've ever been in.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is
So well
fantastic.
done, Noah.
Thanks,
Well
man.
done, Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Thank
guy
you.
right here was helping me
Kudos.
hang up the curtains and put up get the table in the right spot and make sure And Paulo, one of our guys over here, was helping me get some of the other touches done for the studio. So
This
it's
is
been
so fun.
it's been a group effort. So.
No, this
Well,
is
we
so
do
cool.
the free consulting, and then we turn it on, turn the tables on ourselves. What's the best way to do this? What do you
exactly,
think? You were really great in soliciting feedback to help build this. You were going to say, Mike?
Well, so I don't know what. Well, I know what I was kind of expecting when I was coming in here, but when you're like, okay, yeah, sit in this chair, then put on these headphones, and then here's the microphone, and I was like, holy shit!
We got a microphone?
This is legit. Like, a lot of times I'm on a podcast speaking into my phone, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah.
No, this is like we're doing it on a Zoom, and and a lot of times that's what you have to do.
Sure.
But this is a great studio. This is so cool. This is fun.
We got this thing in. Ray has started to open his mind up to bringing customers here and partners and things like that. And we got somebody flying in from Seattle next week
Right on.
to come for the podcast.
Just for the podcast.
Just for this. Just to sit and chat about their business, what they've done, how they've done it, their origin story, just like,
Where
just
they're
like you
going,
did.
relationship with us,
Relationship with
all
us,
the good
that
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Because when people know who you are, when they know what your story is,
Yeah.
that allows people to connect with you.
Yeah.
Right. Even if they're not talking to you, they know kind of who you are and what your story has been and what you represent. And that comes across literally sometimes in 17 seconds on a short.
Oh my God. It's, so I think people, I think they've, from a psychological perspective, like you could tell, like, the shysters, you could tell the
Seconds.
bullshitters. It doesn't take long at all.
Yeah.
Like I tell people all the time, just as a blind person, like I can hear character.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh no, I've got a gold watch and look at my shoes and look at the car I drive. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I can hear character in people's voices all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it doesn't take much at all.
Well, it's
So,
because your muscle is finely tuned at this point, right? Your hearing has got to be.
well, talk to my wife about that. Right? So, or is that listening or is that hearing? I'll throw myself under that bus. I'm like, honey, I'm listening to the Broncos. Like, come on. So
I don't have two tuners. I got to tune into one thing at a time.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
It's the whole like people, and I get asked that all the time. Like, hey, are you since you're blind, are you a better listener? Do you have better hearing? And I'm like, talk to my wife. Okay,
Yeah.
like so.
Get the straight scoop.
But the focus and the idea of this is where like in exactly what you did, Noah, on like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to focus on something. Now, if you do that, if you work on that muscle enough, you can become an expert in anything, whether it's listening, fine tuning, whatever that muscle is, right? And
Absolutely.
that's all it is. It's not that, because I'm blind, I'm a better listener. No. Now I do say, like, in the world of customer service and surveys and all that other kind of stuff,
Sure.
like one of our superhero powers within the blind low vision community, like we tend to listen
A little
bit more effectively, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are, but think about business in general. What skill set is being a good listener not part of the game?
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like, I think more CEOs, more CFOs should actually work on that skill set.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And way too many
100%.
CEOs are doing this,
Yeah. One mouth, two ears, and they're doubling up on the mouth.
Oh my God, yeah, so they can't wait to tell you just how brilliant they are.
That's hilarious.
Truth.
Speaking of brilliant, I'm looking at this guy's sunglasses, right? In the reflection of his sunglasses, you can actually see the podcast studio.
Oh, really? Oh, up on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, so I give a shout out to so these shades, my wife has, and I've broken so many shades. I've had these now for a couple of years. These are oh my gosh, what's they're a Fisherman. I think they're called Fishers or something like that.
Yeah.
This brand of shade, like really, really good for my needs, because I still have like some light perception and the light actually hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm always squinting.
Yep.
Even though I can't really see what's going on, the light just hurts my eyes.
Right.
And these shades at like $22, which I was just like, oh, because I'm one of those kind of frugal kind of dudes. I'm just like, oh yeah, and I haven't broke. And these have traveled literally across the globe with me now.
Yeah.
And I've not broken them, so I love it. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Knock on wood. There we go.
yeah, where's this table is legit too. And you built that, Noah?
Yeah, I built this. Yeah.
That's super good. So you're like you're like a MacGyver.
I'm a I'm a builder.
So you toss you into a jungle with.
Solution.
I build things.
Yeah, that's so fun.
I
Right
know.
on.
It is a good time. I mean, I this took me a weekend, and actually, it's surprising because I showed this table to some guys that have a retail shop inside of Flatirons Mall, and they do rough wood. Right? They'll take pressure washers and they'll go out to the forest and they'll find sticks and they come back and debark it and just pressure wash it down. And they make bed frames and they make other things. And they're like, you should make these tables and sell them at our shop. And I was like, I do this for fun. This is fun for me. I don't want to do this for a job.
Yeah, because how quickly would the fun
It would
go?
just evaporate. You know, I want to do this stuff, like build stuff like this for fun.
Yeah. Although, could I mean, my birthday isn't too far away. I mean, we're friends, right, Noah? Like this, I love the way this feels. Like it's super cool.
Yeah,
like,
that's good, man.
yeah, I could feel the knot. Like, this is cool.
Oh, there's stamps
real.
on. There's
Yeah.
stamps on it from China. There's
Oh, visually?
yeah.
Oh, really?
Down on the feet. There's shipping stamps, like what area of China they came from. So this, funny enough, everything comes from China, right?
Yep.
This wood came from Eastern. This is called Eastern European pine. Well, Eastern European pine is China, right? That's Eastern Europe, essentially, right on that border of
Right. Yeah, yeah.
of Europe and China. So in that forest, whatever that is, I don't know where the forest is.
Yeah.
I should probably look it up, but that's where this wood came from.
That's super cool.
Isn't
I
that
love the
fun?
way it feels. Like it like obviously from a tactile perspective, I'm really into that. I think
Oh, yeah.
this just feels really neat.
Yeah, the
So,
veins of the wood.
Yeah, I could feel it. It's
And
legit.
Some of the roughness of like I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't plane it all down.
No, and I love that. That's what I love about this table is like it doesn't feel like it's varnished. You know what I mean?
And it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. I put no finish on it at all. This is a natural wood. It's more like a Douglas fir, right? So it's sappy. It's got some stickiness to it.
Love it.
You can feel some of the knots in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
and then I just screwed it all together. I didn't use any glue, not one lick of glue. It's all screwed, and it's not perfect. But
And you said this took you a weekend,
it took me a weekend. Yeah.
so it was quicker to do the accessibility.
Yeah, it was quicker to do the accessibility. I love the parallels he brings to the table and the comparisons.
Love it.
I know it's really good, man. It's really good.
Well,
Well, what else do we got, guys?
Well,
I
I
mean,
want to know. I'd love
Yeah.
to know like MyCallCloud, like again, decade in review for BIT, which is great.
yeah.
But
You same? You want us to do the
Yeah,
same?
I would love to hear like where MyCallCloud is, and quite honestly, like
Sure.
like Raymond and I still getting to know more and more about. Like I just found out like he was CCNA as well. Like, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. So like,
Yeah.
where was your starts in tech and all
let's-
that kind of stuff? Like,
I'll start off. Sure. So I started my career off in construction management with Quest Communications. I went to college I got a Bachelor of Science in Construction Management and a minor in Business Administration, but I had always had a technical affinity, right? I always had the ability to, run a computer, run a network, connect networks together, whatever it is. I worked at the computer lab at University of Wisconsin-Stout, where I went to school. And I did that for 3 years. And that was easy. I mean, that was probably the easiest job I've ever had. So then I got out, started construction. 2 years, 2.5 years, worked for Quest for about 18 months, 20 months. Then I worked for a general contractor for about 8 months. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm much better at software and engineering solutions and networking and that kind of stuff. I'm not so great at estimating construction projects, although I was okay at it.
Yeah.
I was an estimator at that general contractor, and if you won a job, you always forgot something, right? So the owner was always on your ass, like, "Oh, you lost that job for us," and then you win a job, and then you also forgot something, right? So you never like felt good about the process of being successful in that role, and I was like, I got to get out of here. So then I talked to TouchStar Software on a Monday. Todd Plecker, if Todd ever watches this, Todd, shout out. And by Wednesday, I had a job offer. And I had just gotten out of surgery. I had just torn my ACL playing hockey. So I was literally in recovery after surgery, and Todd calls me, and he's like, hey, I think we're going to give you an offer. You interested? And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. So then I traveled the world installing TouchStar, which was a call center solution. Not voice over IP at the time. It was regular PRI, PSTN. And anywhere in the world I needed to go, they needed me to go, I went. St. Vincent was one of those places, Guyana, South America, the UK, everywhere in the United States, probably every major NFL city for sure, if not all minor cities too, like little cities in Washington and Oregon. And, anybody that had a call center, debt collections or telemarketing or inbound customer service, whatever it was. And then I did that from TouchStar 02 to 06, 08. Wait, I was there 6 years. And I was asked to leave because I closed a gigantic deal for them, and I got fired for commission, $33,000 commission. Ran into that guy the other day, actually. Ran into that sales manager that was part of that part of that knowing, that process. That was a little awkward, but got through it.
He's not going to be on your podcast.
Listen, I forgave him.
Yeah.
It was the best thing that ever happened. Like you look back and you're like, oh God, that was awful. And then at that point, you make these decisions in your life. Like, I'm never going to work for anybody else again. Why would I do that? You know,
What
why
year
would
are we
I?
talking about at that?
This
point?
is 08,
okay.
08, 09.
So when the financial crisis was happening, you're
Got
saying
fired.
like, I want to go start my own gig.
I'm going to start my own gig. Yeah. And I picked up a job. I picked up a couple random odd jobs. I worked for Home Advisor for about 9 months. I worked on their voice over IP infrastructure, and that was great. But ultimately, I was working with, 18, 19, 25-year-olds, and they were riding unicycles around and shooting each other with Nerf guns. And I was 30. And I'm like, I can't. I get it, guys. Ping pong and Nerf guns, that's cool. But let's, can we try and do some things today, accomplish stuff. So I had to leave that job. And then I worked another odd job for Zayo for a little bit on a sales gig, and then got fired from that. I've been fired a few times, which I'm okay with. But then at that moment, I was like, okay, this is my ramp. This is my runway. I have an opportunity. I already have like some technology going with voice over IP. I understand call center. I have an open source platform I can deploy. And I understand because it was written. So this is a story that actually people should know about, and they don't. So Vici Marketing, it was a company in Clearwater, Florida. They had TouchStar before they had Vici Dial. Okay. Vici Dial is named after that family that ran that marketing company. So a lot of the stuff in Vici Dial has got nomenclature from TouchStar. Lists, campaigns, the way it's run, the structure of it, down to some of the setting names, right? They were exact. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be that hard for me to figure out because I already know this platform. I know the nomenclature from the most part. I know kind of how it works. The fetching was the same thing. The hopper would get records every minute. Right? It's the same thing as TouchStar. So they modeled the build after the software I had installed previously.
Wow.
And here we are today. So 2011, I started. 2012, LLC, and so we're 14 years.
So 2012 is like your anniversary.
2012 is like the official LLC filing. January 1st.
So that was so February 28th of 2013 was our official.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was so 20. Yep. So that was our official. Now we started before that. So
sure.
Similar, but yeah. So you're just literally a year
older.
That's fantastic.
A year and a month.
Love it.
So that's my origin story.
Okay, so then tell me how the two of you
TouchStar. I met TouchStar. Raymond at TouchStar. I was employee 6. He was employee 9 or 12, or I don't know, whatever it was. Shortly after, and then we knew about each other. And Raymond is great at keeping in touch with people, as you might know.
Oh yeah,
right. Yep. So we kept in touch over the years, and at some point, I reached out to Raymond. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's working for i3 or working for some other competitor company out there in the world. And then there was a moment where he was ready to go, right? So, and it wasn't with i3 anymore; it was somebody else. But so then we brought him on board.
That's
and
fantastic.
It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Just been a decade,
or maybe 11.
Yeah, right at that.
Right at 10 or 11 years. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
he was employee 4 here.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And we have 10 now.
So. You guys are 4,000 now?
Yeah,
like
400,000 employees. We're a small group. We like to keep it that way. We're a boutique, and we get to do things like edit our software in 4 hours and make it
accessible. And so I'm a huge fan of the kind of that startup bootstrap.
Oh yeah. I didn't have to get approval to build the podcast studio.
Right.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. No.
We just built it.
Badass. This is so fun.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
I know.
No, this is great. I really appreciate you guys just bring. I mean, it's been a minute.
Well, we'll do this more often now that we have this here. Now that this resource is available, and you're in town, we're in town.
Yep.
We'll a couple times a year we'll connect. We'll find out what's going on. We'll cut 30, 40 shorts. It's super easy. I'll make sure you get access to those. You can use them in Blind IT's marketing pieces, whatever you want.
Yeah, and we'll connect our Marcom, and so that way we'll tag and repost and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Again, together we'll just continue to change lives and make the business world more accessible, my friend.
This is the way.
Love it.
This is the way.
Love
Thanks, Mike, for coming. Yeah. Raymond, do you have anything else?
No.
You good?
Thanks, Raymond. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you coming in and bringing the golden hoodie into my call
Got
cloud.
the golden hoodie.
Love it.
Love it.
That's
Love
awesome.
it. Love it. Yep. Thank you, Salesforce, for making it all happen.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Salesforce.
MyCallCloud, for literally being there from the beginning.
Of course, Mike.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. And we'll see Mike in
Cheers.
in a little bit. Bye, everybody.